Now the latest on the Danny Chen case. The United States Army sergeant who was found guilty of mistreating and assaulting his Chinese-American subordinate was formally sentenced on Tuesday. 30-year-old Sergeant Adam Holcomb will spend 30 days in a military prison. He will also have to pay a fine and has been reduced in rank. In a military trial that ended Monday at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Holcomb was cleared of more serious charges, including negligent homicide. Private Danny Chen committed suicide in Afghanistan. Military prosecutors say the 19-year-old was driven to kill himself because of mistreatment by his superiors. CCTV correspondent Jessica Stone was in the courtroom for Monday's court-martial. She joins us now with a wrap-up of the proceedings. And Jessica, I guess some people might be surprised at this outcome. He stays in the Army, no dishonorable discharge. I imagine the reaction on the part of the people who are supportive of the Chen family itself must be very disappointed in all of this. What's their reaction?
Utter disgust, really. I mean, Elizabeth Ouyang, who's the president of the New York chapter of Office of Chinese Americans and serves as a spokesperson for the family, said, quote, "Allowing a superior convicted of racial maltreatment of a junior soldier to remain in the Army calls into question the Army's commitment to diversity and equality." The Chens really wanted a conviction on these higher charges, the negligent homicide, the reckless endangerment. They definitely wanted this soldier out of the Army. Obviously, the defense is very pleased with the verdict and was pleased, too, that Sergeant Holcomb was able to talk in the course of the trial during sentencing. But again, it's key to point out to our viewers that all of this still is not final until a three-star general at Fort Bragg makes a final ruling as to whether these charges stick and the sentencing sticks.
And he can go either way, I guess,
yeah,
in either direction. Let me ask you about this. Walk us through this proceeding, because this is different than in a courtroom that you might be in if you were watching a court case in a civil proceeding or criminal proceeding. The military has their own way of doing things. Can you describe what happened?
Well, first of all, it was very unique, as you say. The jury reached the conclusion without actually ever hearing the prosecution in this case make their case for the maximum sentence. And that was because the attorneys in this case kept running afoul of the judge's rules and actually, in this particular instance, actually were making statements that could prejudice the jury. So they didn't even get to make their final points to the jury and to the judge about what should happen. But even the sentencing guidelines are very unlike domestic civilian courts in the United States. Assault, for example, he was convicted of assault. That carries a maximum sentence in the U.S. military of 6 months. It would be much longer in U.S. civilian court, and I think that's important for people to understand. He was never going to get the maximum of 2 years. It's a very different system. It's based more on discipline and leadership, and so that I hope that can help understand, but I know there's a lot of people very upset about what happened.
Well, Jessica Stone, thanks for your coverage of this. It's very interesting, no doubt about it.